folks, today we're going to put together the cover for the Love Letters album, and we're using the Be Mine collection from Echo Park. And if you're wondering what kind of witchcraft I've got going on, because last time I cut apart a sheet that looked exactly like this, I bought two collections, so this is from the other collection. Last time we made the embellishment, so if you haven't seen that video, because some of the elements that I put together in that video are going to come into play here. If you haven't seen that one, be sure and check that out. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. First, we're going to put the cover together and the measurements for the cover. The chipboard, this is, I'm not sure what the weight on the chipboard is, but the chipboard is 5 inches by 8 inches. Pretty sure it's a medium weight chipboard. So we've got 2 at 5 by 8, and the spine is 2.5 by 8. The wraps that go around the cover, since I'm working with 8.5 by 11, and actually even if you're working with 12 by 12, you're going to need 2 pieces. The overall width is 14 inches and the height is 10 inches. We're going to glue those pieces together. The binding is 7.5 inches wide by 7.25 inches tall. We're going to score it at 1 inch, 1.5 inches, 2 inches, 2.5, and every ½ inch up to the 6.5 inch mark. So we're going to have inch wide margins on either side and then scored every ½ inch in between. And inside the cover, I've got a couple of mats. These are, all of this paper actually is 65 pound. So these mats measure 4 3/4 by 7 3/4. And for the assembly, I'm going to use a combination of double-sided tape and glue. I'm going to use the double-sided tape here along the edges, the long edges of the chipboard, and that's just to make sure that as the album is flexing, the wrap, the 65 pound cardstock, doesn't buckle. And we're going to use some glue to give it a little bit of extra strength. And we're going to use a scoring tool and a stylus. Now, you can use any stylus you want. I actually prefer this one. So let's go ahead and get started. ended up having to recut the chipboard and the wrap pieces because when I initially assembled it, I forgot to put down the glue. So if you notice that there was something a little bit different about the materials between when I talked about the measurements and when I actually assembled it, that was it. These are the pieces that are going to go, that we're going to put on the cover, on the outside of the cover. So let's talk about the mats. So we've got the back is going to be double matted. The first mat is 4 3/4 by 7 3/4, and the second mat, so pretty. This one is 4 1/2 by 7 1/2. And then the spine is also going to be double matted. The first mat is 2 1/4 by 7 3/4, and this one is 2 inches by 7 1/2. On the front, we're going to have a pocket, and above the pocket, the mat is going to be 5 1/2 inch or 4 3/4 inches wide by 5 1/2 inches tall. The pocket, where's the pocket at? Is 6 inches wide. We're going to score it at 1/2 inch and 5 1/2 inches, and this is 65-pound cardstock. And 3 1/2 inches tall, we're going to score that at 1/2 inch, and then we're going to mat that with. We're going to double mat that. The base mat is 4 3/4 by 2 3/4. It's going to go down there like that. And this mat is 4 1/2 by 2 1/2. So it's going to sit on there like that. And then inside the pocket, we're going to have a photo mat. This is 110-pound cardstock. It's 4 1/2 inches wide by 7 inches tall. And we're going to mat that with 4 1/4 and 6 3/4. And then on the front of that pocket, we're going to have a frame, and the frame is actually going to be on a folio. And it's going to open sideways and it's going to flip down. So the folio part of the frame is 7 inches wide. We're going to score that at 1/2 inch by 4 1/2 inches tall. The backing that's going to go behind the folio is 3 1/2 inches wide by 5 inches tall. And we're going to score that at 1/2 inch so that it can flip down. And the frame itself is 4 inches. We're going to score that at 1/4 inch and 3 3/4 by 4 3/4, and we're going to score that at 1/2 inch. And then from the center, we're going to cut a 3 by 4 rectangle. For the spine, we've got this piece that I put together during the embellishments video, and I forgot to give the measurements for this. So the overall frame is 2 inches by 3 inches. The this outer frame, those are the measurements, 2 by 3, and then there's an 1.5 inch by 2 1/2 inch square cut from the center. Behind that, we've got some chipboard. Yeah, some chipboard, and then another layer of acetate, and another frame behind that. And that one measured 3 inches wide by 3 1/2 inches tall, I think. And then we scored it and wrapped it around so that it would create a little frame here. And then we've got the backing, which is 2 by 3. And of course, we've added shaker elements to it. So let's go ahead and get started decorating the outer cover, and then we'll work on the inner cover. down to the last little bits for the cover. And on the inside of the cover, we're going to have photo mats and pockets. These pockets measure 5 inches wide. We're going to score it 1/2 inch and 4.5 inches by 3 inches tall. And we're going to score that at 1/2 inch. We've got 2 of those, and we've got photo mats at 4.5 inches wide by 3.5 inches tall, and probably create another level of matting at 4 1/4 and 3 1/4. These are the mats for the pockets. They're 3 3/4 by 2 1/4. And these are the mats for the inside of the album. The inside front and inside back covers. So they're 4 3/4 by 7 3/4. The first thing that we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and add these mats to the back, and then we'll go ahead and add the pockets, mat the pockets, add the photo mats, and then probably mat those photo mats. That's it for the cover, folks. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button and share on social media and subscribe to this channel. Next time we're going to do the first fin for this album.